how is the okay, this is a big topic, a deep topic, and the reason I'm talking about it is because I made a post, what I thought was a simple, just post that like people would be like, oh, right, like it's common sense, but let me explain why I made the post. And obviously, if you don't follow me on Facebook, let me go ahead and read the post. It's very short. Let me make sure I quote myself here correctly. Okay, I said, the colorism in Morocco is really sad to see. Sad face. Okay. The reason I'm going live then about this topic is because I was just really surprised by some of the comments. Of course, some people were like, yes, like obviously, right? But some people were like denying it. Yeah, so let's get into some of those comments. But before I do that, I'll try to give you the reason as to why I said that in that moment. And of course, if you know Facebook, like usually if you want to keep like that background color or whatever or pattern, you need to keep it short and sweet, right? So of course I didn't like go into detail. It wasn't one of those kinds of posts where I like write a whole bunch, because that's why I'm doing this live. Like I wouldn't be able to finish talking about it. You know what I mean? Because it's not the first time, right? Okay, so the reason I said it in that moment was because of another post. So let me pull that up real quick. And so some of you on Facebook, I hope that you guys, are able to see this video at some point. If you care or whatever. But let me pull that up. Sorry. And I took screenshots too, especially especially like after people started saying weird stuff, and just the weird comments on that post anyways. And just of course, like being on social media for a long time, for many years, I just learned to like take screenshots just in case too, because yeah, it's a lot. Anyways, okay, so the post was an American man of African ancestry, right? Um, but an American, right? And he said something like that he was like looking forward to maybe like having a life here in Morocco, meaning like maybe he wanted to move here, right? That was the implication. So I put this thumbnail here that says, "You're African," right? So I don't know what that person commenting meant, but when I saw that, I saw the man's post, right? The American man, the African American man. And then I saw that comment, "You're African." You can take that different ways. I don't know what he meant, but like, I just, I didn't feel okay not saying something positive to the American man, And so I just said, like, welcome to Morocco, since I'm an American in Morocco, right? So I just kind of wanted to, if there was any negativity there, if that's what this other guy meant, that's what I was just trying to turn it into positive, Um, so then after I commented, I don't remember if it was, it was late, I think. So I don't know, that same night or the next night, I would get notifications, like people responding or saying other things. And so there were definitely some like racist or like colorist comments. Hi, you guys. Is there anybody commenting about the topic? I just see a bunch of random comments here right now. Yeah, very random. Okay. Anyways, and let me kick you out since you're cussing. I mean, cussing is one thing, but like you're being disrespectful as well. So, okay. All right. Sorry, I can't read Arabic though. I don't understand Arabic. And if you're going to keep spam me, I don't know. Or are those different? Those are different things. I can't understand. I don't understand Arabic though. AWP, what's up? Hello, Tricia. Thank you for speaking about important matters. Yeah. Thank you, man. I was just really surprised with some of the comments on my post, and then, I mean, of course, the comments on the other guy's post. So, anyways, let's get more into it. So, later on, there was a super racist comment or colorist comment, depending. Let me find it. Yeah, so this is translated. It was in Arabic, but then I translated. It says, "No Black African is not welcome in Morocco." So at some point I think it got removed or deleted or whatever, because I'm sure people reported it. And then yeah, I saw people responding to him in another comment, and those comments were removed, but they were, of course, saying like, let me see the English for that. Some of it was in French too. English. Someone said like, Moroccan is never racist. Shut the up. But then he said something else. I don't know what his point was. But anyways, and then someone said like, stupid. First of all, this is Africa. Second of all, shut up. Right? Like standing up for just the truth, right? And what's right and good things. But later I did see somebody else say, "No welcome for foreigners. We know your ideology, beliefs, Afrocentric." And I think that comment was still there. But anyways, that's why, just for those of you who ask, like, why'd you post that? Why did you just say that small thing? Oh no, it's not true, or just whatever. What's the point? That's why I did it in that moment. Okay. But let's get into some of the comments that I was very surprised at. And let me read the definition too, because I think part of it is the language barrier, right? We speak different languages. This word colorism is maybe not a word that's known a lot, right, when you're learning English. So colorism is prejudice or discrimination against individuals with a dark skin tone, typically among people of the same ethnic or racial group. And let me say this too. We all know that race is a social construct, right? Like it doesn't matter, right? Like we know that, we should know that. But, that's unfortunately that's something that we're still dealing with. And as long as racism and colorism still exist, we need to talk about it. We need to fix that problem, racism and colorism. And I know some people were like, "Oh, you're not Moroccan, don't talk about our problems." I've heard that a lot recently, talking about some of the protests and the, health and education stuff. I heard it again. I was like, "Oh, well, I mean, I live here, right? So like, of course I'm going to talk about the issues." So, and then racism. Prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism by an individual, community, or institution against a person or people on the basis of their membership of a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized. Okay, so just so we're clear. All right. Sorry, and let me read the comments as well. Is it that easy for people around the world to just move to Morocco and live? I don't know. I don't know. Where are you from? I recognize your name though. I don't know if it's easy. It depends on what you want out of life, I guess, or what you're comfortable with, or I don't know. Okay. Mm. So yeah, a friend said like not just Morocco, but everywhere there are people of color. So of course, um, obviously I said about Morocco because I'm in Morocco and because of what I just mentioned, right, of the post. Um, and just, stupid comments like the only colorism we know in Morocco is that Marrakesh is red and Chefchaouen is blue. That got 42 likes. Wow. Yeah, it's just like, you know, there's no emoji with it. Like, I know some people trying to use humor or deflect, but, I don't know if that's a deflection or that's humor or just straight, you know, being blind to people's experiences. What did you say? It's very strange seeing African to refer to what's Nafri? Wait, did I miss? What does that mean? Or was that the person's name? No, what's Nafri? Oh, North Africans. Is that what you? Sorry, it was all one word. I thought you were talking about something specific. Okay, so it's very strange seeing North Africans use the word African to refer to sub-Saharans. Don't they know that the word is a descriptor of North Africans? Yeah. Okay. North is North. Nafri is North. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Like it's just also it's complex. It's complicated, and also it's just like again, like race is not real, basically. I mean, like it's important right now. It's still important for us to talk about, like I said, because we have problems with racism, right, and colorism. But I also remember learning about the how was it called, the Tutsi and the Hutu. That like they're the same race, right? But I guess it's different tribes. And like I remember them saying like the differences were maybe between the nose and like the neck or something like that. But it's just like, human beings, why do we like pick and pick and pick and pick? Oh, this is different. This is, you know what I mean? Like just stop. Like yeah. If you're any kind of observant, it's like it's ridiculous. But yeah. 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 I don't know. It's complicated. um Somebody said it's called pale supremacy, and then he put like a laughing emoji. Like I'm like, oh, should I laugh? Should I not laugh? I don't know how to, because if he said like that's, I don't know, because of course we talk about white supremacy in the United States as well. Like that's a known thing that we talk about, right? But I guess because I said colorism, then he's saying pale. So I don't know. It's a play on words, so I get it, but it's also like, oof. Like it's true too, right? Like, yeah. And then this is the other thing. So just like when I posted about like the health and education, especially health stuff, because like I need healthcare obviously with having health issues, and it's important to me then, or more important to me then. Um, but similar kind of comments were like basically you don't have the right to say something because you're not Moroccan, or like well, what about your country? The whataboutism, right? Like deflect and deny, basically, you know. So yeah, basically this one is saying like, I don't want to say the one word. I don't know. It says at least no dark skinned person ever been unalived in Morocco. Um, so again, like trying to compare, but I said historically I don't think that's accurate. Um, but I get it. Um, oh, I just saw this comment. Oh. Then somebody else responded later, but they used to unalive Moroccan people, FU, etc., etc. Yeah, there's a lot of history, you know, like that's what people don't understand in the U.S. as well. There's so much history to this stuff. It's not like easy to be like, oh no, we're all perfect human beings in this country, whatever country it is, you know, like no, we don't have any problem. We're not racist. We're not colorist. Like, yeah. Anyways, okay, somebody else said, I never quite understand the point of posts like this. They serve absolutely no purpose. So that was interesting. But then again, it's like, okay, let me come at it from, at least he was like maybe a little bit more respectful or whatever, like, or it was like a more neutral kind of comment, which I was like, okay, maybe he doesn't have the context, right? And so I explained a bit. And then, yeah, I think maybe he understood more um, why I posted it. But I get it. Like, if you just see it, maybe some people would think, like, oh, you just want to talk bad about Morocco or whatever. Like, I don't know. But then somebody else said, she's American. They like to put their nose in everything. And then some other random comment. I don't know. But no, I mean, I don't think I'm putting my nose in anything. I think if you know me in America, right, I'm the same person. Like, I will talk about the issues. That's me, period. So, um, yeah, 54 countries in Africa, many more tribes and languages for sure. Hey, from Trinidad, hey. Not knowing 90% of North Africans are native. Yeah, Amazigh, right? Yeah. So I'll talk about some more personal things after this, like after I get to the comments, but like things that I've actually heard, not just on the computer, because of course some people could be like, oh, they're just fake accounts or whatever. Like, no, you know, unfortunately, I've heard some very ignorant things as well. Okay, so someone said, here in this country, most people are hypocrites and only look out for their own interests. Even if someone is arrogant and proud, as long as they have money, people will respect them. They don't respect honest or poor individuals. Only a small group respects everyone equally. The majority respects the wealthy or foreigners, but not their own kind. Yeah, it's interesting. Like, what's the saying? Like, if we could, like, if all of us who are poor, right? Um, if we just focused on the whole classism issue, right? Um, you know, that would unite us and help everyone, right? But there are just so many issues that separate us, right? Um, in the world, also in Netherlands. Oh, okay, I just saw that comment, I think. Okay, and then someone said in Morocco there's racism against the Amazigh, which I agree with that for sure. And I've heard some stories from Amazigh people, friends and strangers or like acquaintances or whatever. But then they said while those with black skin are preferred by the Moroccan regime, which I don't understand that part. Somebody else said there is no colorism, there is only poorism. I said there's both, you know. They're trying to make a joke, but also, you know, seemingly trying to like ignore that there is colorism. I don't know. Somebody else said with Amazigh people don't even talk about colorism. Talk with it in Western countries or your country, not our country, please. That's hard to hear from someone who is Amazigh, you know. So I said every country has a form of colorism or racism. Why do you want to ignore that? They said I didn't ignore it, but it's never been a big deal in our country because we have Black Amazigh people, not only from Western Sahara, so no need to use that post. So here's where like maybe the English is an issue, right? Maybe they think I'm saying like it's everywhere in Morocco, right? That's not, that's not what I meant, obviously. Like if you just replace the country for like any other country, basically, right? Like it's the same thing, but that's just, it was an observation in that moment. Hi, Mozambique. What's wrong again? Not researching on the internet. Which countries have you been to? How many languages do you speak? Did you ever study world history? Yeah. Is that you're saying like that's why people are not paying attention or ignorant to the facts because they didn't do research, they didn't travel, knowing more languages. World history, is that what you mean? Or hey, Dove. Goofy. Y'all don't start. Don't start, y'all. We said we're gonna be serious tonight. Yesterday I did go live as well, learning more Tamazight. I am learning Tamazight and Tifina, and we had a special guest, and we were doing some pronunciation. And then afterwards, we hung out and digressed. And yeah, anyways. A dub. Okay. It's more like racism by Darija speaking Amazigh, denying their Amazighness against Amazigh speaking. Yeah. No, I get that. I've heard that for sure. Did you not understand? Were you asking me personally, or are you saying in general? Why'd you say not researching on the internet? I think you put a comma, right? Or okay, which? Are you asking me personally? I guess the comma maybe messed me up. The understanding not researching on the internet. Which countries? I guess I don't get the beginning. I don't know. But let me know exactly. Maybe if you have one question, but let me get through the comments though, because I think it's important, especially some of the just really bizarre ones. Oh yeah, so then I've said this a few times in this post, right, on Facebook. Like I didn't say every person participates in this ignorance, but it also happens, right? It's important to listen to those it's happened to, right? Yeah. I'm sure you have a country you can go to and be an advocate for, always have been, for whatever it is. We are just fine. We are just fine. Moroccans have their own voices, and we get each other in this country so much better than strangers. Yeah, no, I mean for sure. Like that's why I always say too, my friends' stories are their stories, right? I'm not gonna speak. I'm not gonna like speak for them, but like I also think it's important to talk about the issues and not just not talk about. You know what I mean? But like I don't want to like tell their stories, but also like I don't know. I think there's a happy balance there. Um, yeah, someone said no, there's no discrimination in color, which I don't think is true. But they said there is racism towards the Amazighs, and they always try to Arabize us. That is, we're Amazighs, and we have nothing to do with Arabism. Yeah, that's definitely an issue here. I've heard from friends. Um, I don't know. Some people are talking about. I'm gonna skip some of them because I don't quite understand them, and they're a little bit weird. Someone said it does exist for sure. Um, yeah, again, one person gives himself the right to conjecture upon a whole nation. That's great. No foundation. So again, it's like, of course, there was a reason why I made that post. I explained that in the beginning of this live, if you didn't see that, but obviously it was a post on Facebook as well. But then also we were talking about, yeah, just the understanding in English that like it doesn't mean that everyone in Morocco is colorist or racist, and you know. Somebody said, "Lady, please don't try to spread this propaganda." Again, trying to compare it to America. It's really interesting though. I'm just like, truth is not propaganda, right? Like let's not deny a truth. Again, it's not everyone is like that, but someone said, take them all to your country home if you feel bad. I was like, take who? I don't understand. Someone said bad country. I said, uh, it keeps jumping. I don't know where my comment was. But I remember responding to that one, but it's not showing up. Oh, there it is. Okay. I said just a bad kind of mentality all over the world. It's not I'm not trying to say anything about like, oh, Morocco or like it's not like that. It's just that I'm saying this is happening. I've seen it, I've heard it. Um it's just a bad mentality. It doesn't mean, we have to differentiate between like behaviors and people, right? Like if we talk about people in negative ways, like that's a generalization, or that's like something that can be dangerous to talk about, right? But we're talking about the issues, right? We want to deal with the issues, not saying something about like all people do this or all a certain type of people do. You know what I mean? That's not helpful either. Um, yeah, one friend is talking about Egypt, like the skin lightening creams. Yeah, it's definitely a problem in many countries. Definitely have seen the skin lightening creams. Quite a few people ask like what do you mean? Like what is colorism basically? So again, like an English thing. Someone said all over the world. Yes, indeed. Yes, also the United States. Yes, of course. Like I didn't, I'm not just because I talk about Morocco doesn't mean I'm excluding other countries, Excuse me. Yeah, I think obviously just this post struck a nerve, and so like random people that don't follow me, or just like they don't know me or whatever, so like they're like, oh, you're an attention seeker. I'm like, if there's a reason why I posted it. Someone said yes. Someone said I definitely agree. Someone said intolerable people. I don't know what this guy keeps saying sometimes. Someone said, and who said the racism does not exist in Morocco is a liar, and they try to make that country look beautiful because you're from America. The truth is, yes, there is racism in Morocco, and that is the truth. Yeah, it's so weird, you know, like it's the same thing in the US, right? Like people will say like, "Oh no, don't say anything bad about your country." And it's a big problem right now in the US, man. If you want to like work on the issues, you talk about it. And some people there get really sensitive or defensive about saying something. It's like, I'm not going to pretend my country is perfect. That's weird. It's really weird, you know? I don't like that. Yeah, they're talking about America again, US. Yeah, no, we definitely have problems as well. Um, I don't know what you're saying. Are you a certified historian? No. Have you studied world geography? Sure. I actually studied on my own as well. Why are you asking? What's your point for asking all the questions? Maybe we can get to the meat of it, the lentils of it. Because I don't need meat. Okay. No, but yeah, my bachelor's is sociology with anthropology. My master's is in teaching. But right now, I'm talking about a post. I mean, I can't tell. I don't know how many countries I've been to. Does that matter though? I've been to a lot. I haven't been to like a super amount. Like I haven't counted them though. Um. Okay, this was interesting. I don't know if she's American or where she's from, but she's. mm, I don't know where she's from, but I'm assuming either the U.S. or Europe somewhere. Wait, where did she? Yeah, okay, maybe American. Okay, she said, I couldn't agree more. I lived in Morocco for 2 years and experienced so much racism, almost as much as America, which is interesting. Yes, I'm aware it's everywhere, but Morocco was absolutely horrific. Whenever people ask what my time was like over there, I just say it was like 1920s USA. No exaggeration. That's like, wow. Yeah, that was really sad to read as well and horrible. Like, what is interesting that she said almost as much as America. I was like, oh man, wow, that's really sad too. But yeah, it's interesting to hear from different countries, right? How they experienced Morocco. And she was here 2 years. So I've been here 2.5 years. Let me see. Yeah, wow. It's coming on 3 years. Um, yeah, someone said, stop bringing your own understanding of racism to another culture. That's not what I'm trying to do. But then they were like, but it's not at the same meaning or level, which is interesting. Again, like trying to compare instead of just accept. Like, Can you present us some issues from your own country? When I was in my country, I definitely did. Um, and then someone says someone his country built over Geno. Um, yeah, no, for sure. Like, and I just responded, like, I didn't say nobody else has these problems, right? Like, obviously, the history of the US is horrible. I agree. Um, that keeps jumping. This one, yes. Okay. Um, yeah, and then just people basically calling me names. Um, someone said still problems between Arabs. I think they said Arabic and Berbers. Amazigh. Um, mm, yeah. So then they said it's called tribalism, not colorism. Yeah, it really depends, but all of those, any of the isms, right? Not okay. Um, what? I don't quite understand what they're saying. They keep talking to each other. Mm, someone was responding to them. They're just talking a lot about stuff. I'm not sure, but someone said they're Berber, they're Amazigh, and they never heard of these problems. And then someone, assuming they're from the Reef by their name, they said there is a big problem. So yeah. Anyways, yeah. So some people haven't experienced these things, right? But it doesn't mean that we shouldn't listen to those who have. Same thing in every country, you know. Um, Happy Diwali. Happy, what does it mean? It's like light or light celebration? In my opinion, the only solution to racism and colorism is removing the foreignness between people through education, like listening to world music or world arts. It makes you appreciate their existence and input. Absolutely. 100%. Do you know the true history of the USA? Yeah, for sure. Mozambique, man. Trish is about to ruffle someone's feathers. Lord have mercy. That's not the purpose. I mean, you guys know me. You know the purpose. It's all about being aware, being self-aware, being educated, focus, like trying to get to the truth, right? Whatever that is. And if you want to get deep with it, right? Some things, not these things, but it depends on, some truths can be based on your own experience, right? But there are other truths that are just truths. And when people try to deny them, that's very disturbing. But yeah, Axel said right, racism everywhere, and between people who speak Amazigh and the people who speak Tricia, and the one who live in cities and the other in the village. Between the poor and the rich, between the north and the south, and the middle, and of course between the different skin tones. Yeah, 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 for sure. No, for sure. Men and women, sexism. Yeah, of course. Somewhere. I think that must be. I think that's Tiffina because on my computer it doesn't register Tiffina for some reason. So it's better if you mind your business. I said, no thanks. I mean, it is my business because I'm here, you know? I'm not gonna like, I'm not gonna witness those things and not say something. I think that's negligent and that's not morally okay to me, you know? Ben said Moroccan and Poland, one of the top racist countries, but same time we're the most friendly nation. I don't know what he was basing that on, but yeah. And one lady I did wait, did I meet her? Maybe I didn't meet her. I No, my friend met her. Yeah. But I talked to her. She's American. So yeah, she's like, yeah, it's worldwide. In India it's really bad and sad as well. Morocco is a one and done for me. Could not wait to leave. So then I asked her, um, wow, so yes, I said, because I lived in China for a little while too. And a lot of people were like obsessed with like keeping their skin light or not getting tan. So like carrying umbrellas, lots of the bleaching cream and stuff there. It was really bizarre because I was really young um, when I was in China and stuff, and yeah, that was one of my first experiences with like more global travel. It wasn't my first, but it was my first like major like living in another country. Like what? But yeah, then I asked her, was this part of the reason you didn't like it in Morocco, or just general bad experience? And just suffice it to say, because this is a different issue, like, and someday I'll go more into that. But it's like, yeah, she's just talking about the men. So yeah, sexism problem, misogyny. Yeah, she's talking about sexual harassment. Yeah, another different issue, but obviously very important. And I will talk about that at some point. Um, Someone said there are also racist blacks. They say Africa is only for blacks. They don't know how climate affects skin color. They live in a tropical climate, but we don't. Mm. Yeah, so that's interesting. Someone said, you have nothing to do? Have a life. What? Yeah, so I said, important topics like these is what makes life worth living. And then they said, important? You speak about colors. Which colors? What is so important about colors? Okay, so I'm guessing maybe they didn't get it. Understand. Someone said you will hear, I think they meant hear, you will hear bad things about Morocco, but you will definitely live fabulous things. That's an interesting comment. Someone said, nah, colorism isn't a major social issue in Morocco, like in the Western world. Yeah, I mean, I didn't say, I wasn't comparing it to anything. I was just making a statement. My one friend from Bangladesh, um, yeah, he said, I always said it exists everywhere and it's levels many will deny, and it's like not specifically to a nation. One classic example Yeah, this is a great example. Asking to define the general public the definition of a handsome or beautiful person. Yes, there's this one guy on here. He's Native American. I think let me find him again. I think it was Gabriel. He is posting some great videos saying like he's posting some amazing videos of like what do you call it? Let me just look. Um, yeah, the public face of, fill in the blank, fill in the country, and then the private face of fill in the country. Yeah, it's a huge problem in many countries. Like I didn't say that it's not, um, but yeah, he's is Gabriel Huso Ramos. Um, yeah, somewhere in the Americas he's from. I don't know if it says. I'm not sure, but excuse me. This person, I didn't really understand their story. Talking about the pets or something. I don't know. Um, yeah, it's true that colorism exists, but it's not unique to Morocco, of course. It's interesting. Yeah, then someone said, yeah, they said, in fact, Morocco is among the least racist countries compared to many European and Middle Eastern nations, thanks to its long history of cultural diversity and coexistence. That's interesting. I don't know if everyone agrees with that, though. Um, yeah, and some people's comments are like, we used to live peacefully until the colonialism started. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of history to that. Oh, and then somebody else said, yeah, we see that ignorant people start to be more racist in the last 2 years just because propaganda and social media. I don't know, though. Um, yeah, I think I would disagree with that. Yeah, just more whataboutism. Hmm. And then I think someone's talking about, as a Moroccan, I think, being an immigrant in another country, hearing those words like go back to your country. Yeah. Sad to see it. Sad to say I agree, but at least our police don't. Yeah. So comparing, yeah, difference between people in the system, of course. Yeah, tribalism, of course. Oh, that's interesting. They're like directly calling them out. You have the average skin color in Morocco. It's very normal for you to not notice the colorism here, and that's okay. Mm, I'm glad they said that. Wow. See, and that's the thing. Like, we have to listen to people who are experiencing these things. Um, a dub. Are light and dark skinned nationals in Libya viewed or treated equally? Amazigh, Azul, Manikintigit. Someone said there is no colorism in Morocco. I don't know why you say that. I don't know. I think some people just like don't understand the concept too. And I'll go through that as well. Somebody said there is red and green. If you want colors, go to your country and you'll get an LGBTQ. HDTV, yeah, just real ignorant there. I don't like that kind of ignorance. Um, what is this person saying? Yes, we brown people suffer a lot from. You can check Moroccan publicity in old days. You see just light pale. Now, just black African and light pale. Again, someone else mentioned that. Like, I'm not sure what that means. Is that true? I don't know. Uh, oh, this is real interesting. Someone said, let me tell you something. Amazigh people don't experience any form of racism here. We're not like the indigenous people in America. This is our land, and it's still ruled by us. No whites, no blacks, no yellows, just us. Sounds real racist. Oh. Then they continue to say Moroccans are originally white, then came the sub Saharans who became Moroccan and blended into our culture and identity. You'll never hear of a black Moroccan being killed by a white Moroccan. We don't even use those terms here. This post is honestly pretty dumb. I think your words are pretty dumb. Oh, yeah, no. First of all, first of all, yes, thank you, Mozambique. Mozambique said ignorance is funny sometimes, man. Because if you don't laugh, you cry, is how we say, right? Like, there's a whole lot to unpack right there. Just a lot of, okay, let's go back to she said, I think it's a she, because I think it's Layla or Lila. But yeah, Amazigh, first, Amazigh people don't experience any form of racism here. Whatever you want to call it, right? Because it's so complicated, as coming from an American perspective, right? Where, you know, President Obama, he's mixed. We say mixed, right? Because he's black and white, right? A black parent, a white parent together, right? And however, he gets labeled as our first black president, right? Which it's like, so what was it called? I forget. Like the one drop rule or whatever. Like if you have like a drop of black blood or whatever. Oh, this sounds really stupid. Um, then you're considered black, right? So, our concept of race is just stupid, anyways. But in America, it's like, yeah, in the U.S., I don't know. Okay, so yeah, so like the Amazigh people, at least in Morocco, are from like my complexion, even lighter than my complexion, my skin, to like the darkest skin, right? Like Sudanese, the stereotypical like dark skinned Sudanese brothers. Um, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to really like when she says Amazigh people don't experience any form of racism here. I mean, yeah, it depends on what you're talking about, I guess. I don't know. If you want to call it racism or colorism, But then we're not like the indigenous people in America. Like, what you trying to say? Huh? What you trying to say? Those are fighting words. They said this is our land and it's still ruled by us. And then and then no whites, no blacks, no yellows, just us. Like, you have all of those, which is amazing, which is beautiful, right? But maybe she's trying to mean like we don't separate, or Moroccans don't separate. Um, but obviously, those people who are racist or have racist tendencies, or like are colorists or whatever, they do see that, right? Or they do say ignorant things. Um, but then, okay, then the other comment though, Moroccans are originally white. I I don't know. I don't know if there's a way to prove that because this is a really long time ago. But I would think that that's not true. I don't know if you guys know anything, or if there's any. I mean, and who cares? Again, who cares, right? But like, if we're trying to be factual, I don't know. It sounds really ignorant to me, but um. So okay, those were, I think, all or most of the comments. It's a lot of comments, but yeah. Let me know what you guys think. I don't know. Yeah, like I said, I was just very shocked and surprised at some of the comments. Just that, saying that like it's not a real thing or it doesn't exist. I'm just like, that's really blind. But um yeah, let's break this down, right? Here's something to think about. So, colorism in Morocco, as in many societies, isn't usually expressed through open hostility like overt racism, but more subtly through beauty standards, language, jokes, and social hierarchies. It's rooted in a mix of colonial history, Arabization, and globalized ideals of beauty that privilege lighter skin. Here's how it often looks and sounds in daily life. So we have media and advertising, marriage and social status, work and opportunities. So media and advertising. So again, you'll find this in probably most countries, right? If not all. So lighter skinned models and actors, especially those with Euro-Arab features, are much more visible on Moroccan TV and ads and in music videos. Skin lightening creams are openly sold and advertised as products that make you more beautiful or cleaner. Ugh. Yeah, saw that in China as well. Okay, marriage and social status. Some families still view lighter skin as more desirable for marriage, associating it with higher status or refinement. Oh yeah, man. Ugh. Definitely heard some friends like from different countries experience that. Like, don't let your skin get dark, like, oh. Yeah. Then it says a darker skinned woman may hear that she's beautiful for her color, or that she'd be prettier if she were lighter. Oof. Yeah, and like obviously you'll hear some of this stuff in the US as well. Yeah. Just that culture. Yeah, like the light skin stuff in US culture is really annoying. Um okay, work and opportunities in certain industries, especially hospitality, media, or fashion. There's quiet bias favoring lighter skinned people for public facing roles. People from southern Morocco or Saharan regions who often have darker skin can face subtle discrimination or stereotypes about intelligence, cleanliness, or class. Yeah. It's the whole subtlety, you know? Mm. Hey, Bioscope, how are you? How's everything? Easy to be in denial or just brainwashed in regards to the comments. Yeah, I just can't. I can't. I don't know. It makes me think like, oh man, it makes me want to cry, honestly, because even if you are ignorant, right? But for whatever reason, right? You didn't learn it from your family or school. Um, you didn't learn things from whoever was supposed to teach you, right? Whether you had a parents or you went to school, you just didn't learn these important things and morality and empathy. You didn't learn these things, right? Fine. Okay. Like let's give people the benefit of the doubt, right? Or on even the other side of the opposite side or whatever, that like maybe they were taught the ignorance indirectly or directly from their parents or school or community or whatever, right? Okay. Both of those situations, right? However, if you hear people's stories and you listen to them and then you still, you know what I mean? I don't understand it. Like, how can you not have empathy? Oh, you're lying. That's your excuse, you know? So, millions of people are lying. Like, I don't know. So I think part of the issue then is like maybe um, they didn't hang out with a diverse group of people. You know what I so if they hung out with a diverse group of people, they would probably, hopefully, encounter those situations that would challenge the ignorance, right? And then hopefully like they would learn together or like directly or indirectly from those situations or friends or whatever. So it's like, yeah, maybe the issue is like just not having someone close enough to them. Because if I care about you, I'm going to listen to you, I'm going to hear you, right? Yeah. Anyways, it's frustrating, it's exhausting. Yeah. But yeah, I always say, I think just the best way to live is to experience things for yourself, right? Don't listen. I could tell you stories, you know, just maybe because I've always been stubborn or I don't believe people or like, I mean, like, I don't just listen to people talk. Do you know what I mean? I want to experience those things for myself. So if you're blah, 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 oh, don't go, because do you know how many people told me, oh, Trisha, don't go to this country, that country, or this one or the other one? Do you know what I mean? Why am I going to listen to someone just say, oh, don't go to a whole country, the whole country is bad? Like, yeah, no. Anyway, so just experience things for yourself. That's it. Okay, so how colorism sounds. Okay, common phrases and jokes. So I'm not gonna say them, but because I don't know how to pronounce them, but words like, I'm assuming it's a derecha word, but it's for black or dark, can be used teasingly or insultingly depending on tone. Jokes about someone being too dark from the sun. I've heard that, yeah. Or needing to stay out of the sun are common and often go unchallenged. Yes, I've definitely heard that like a lot. From like the summer to the winter, because of course I think all of us get lighter or darker. Um, and yeah, people being like just saying stuff about like, oh, you were in the sun. Like, not to me, like to each other. And they'd be like, oh, you got too dark, or again, not me, but they're saying it to each other, like, comments like she's beautiful even though she's dark, or he looks cleaner since he got lighter, reflect normalized bias. Nicknames, I've heard this in a few countries. Children or adults might be nicknamed the dark one or the white one, sometimes affectionately, but they still reinforce skin color hierarchy. Yep. Regional bias. People from places like the Souss, Sahara, or South Central Amazigh regions may experience prejudice from northern or coastal Moroccans who see lighter skin and Arab identity as more urban or modern. That's interesting. Hi, Alam. How are you? Which country will be the next one you'll go to? I don't know. I'm here for now. Just it's hard to travel a lot for different reasons, right? So I'm here for now. For now. But okay, why it exists. Colorism in Morocco comes from overlapping influences. Arab and Andalusian ideals that historically associated lighter skin with higher class. French colonialism, which reinforced European beauty norms and social hierarchies. Global media continuing to glorify Eurocentric beauty. Internal African prejudice, where proximity to white or Arab identity is seen as an advancement. Yeah, Eurocentric, man. Eurocentric beauty and Eurocentric history, too. I had a lot of issues in the teaching field because I didn't want to just teach Eurocentric history. I actually refused to use the book that they wanted us to use. I was like, I'm not teaching that. So I had to like stop being at that school. And I guess they kind of thought that the people what do you call it? Like your mentors or like your teachers, or whatever. I guess they kind of thought maybe I would just like quit then or something. I'm like, no, like I know black teachers in a mostly black school. I'm gonna go work with them because I won't have any problem. Like, yeah. Like, what do I look like? Like, I'm a white woman teaching a group full of black students, and I'm gonna teach them Eurocentric history. And like, just I don't like a lot of the. It depends on the text, but man. And that's what we're like arguing about in the U.S. too, man. What books we can use, what history we want to teach, right? Because like, oh, there's like different histories, right? What do we say, right? Like, history depends on who's writing it, right? Uh, just some of those textbooks, the way they try to teach about like Native American history and like just what happened and the words they use, like, oh, like they try to make it all sound nice and stuff. Like, no, it was not. Yeah. It's interesting. I was at the store today too. What were we talking about? I was having a conversation with we call it sales representative, or yeah, customer service or whatever, sales representative, sales associate. Um, he was so nice. I told him, I was like, "You're the nicest, most customer serviceness person I've ever met. Like, thank you." In like, at least in Morocco, you know, because it just different culture, right? American culture is like customer service is like to some cultures might seem annoying, right? Anyways, he was amazing. So we got into a lot of conversation and stuff while he was helping me find stuff around the store, right? And we got into like yeah colonialism with the French and stuff, and just talking about our different experiences and like yeah our cultures. Like he was saying, and I don't know, so I don't know, but he was saying like the way the French and the Spanish are, and maybe other European countries. I don't know. Maybe the customer service that they want or the service that they want is more like I ask a question and then leave me alone. I don't know. But like Americans, we want like all of it, right? Like that's just what we're used to. That's what we like. Or I would say most Americans like help us until we found it, you know? Like hello. um so yeah, I was like, ah, interesting. I didn't know about the French. I've never maybe I did like a layover in France, but I've never like stayed in France. But I have visited Spain quite a few times, and yeah, like it's customer service is not like the U.S. either, man. I feel like the U.S. customer service is very specific. Does it exist in other countries? I don't know, but I mean, and maybe some countries see it as like fake, even you know, because we're many of our customer service folks are like, you know, hi, how can I help you? You know. Anyways, it's a lot. Some of the points you are reading are spot on. Yeah, this is Chat GPT, you know? I was like, dang, Chat GPT, like, it's really speaking the truth a lot. Like, I'm surprised. There's a bigger but silent racism that you don't hear about. It's the racism in Sahel region, Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, where slavery still exists. Mm. Okay, so actually, okay, so let's talk about. Let's keep talking about it. Okay, so it says how is it change how it's changing. Younger Moroccans, yes, young people. It's always the young people, you know, especially Amazigh, Sahrawi, and sub-Saharan Moroccan activists are increasingly vocal about this issue. There's growing pride in Black Amazigh and Saharan heritage, more online discussions, challenging colorist jokes, and influencers promoting natural skin tones and curls as beautiful. Yes, I know. I've talked to some friends here. I've always, not always, just since I was an adult or whatever, I just prefer natural things, right? Like, why should we be fake, whatever that means, you know, for women, like nails, makeup, eyelashes, whatever. Like, I just prefer natural stuff. You know, of course, when I was like young, I experimented dyeing my hair or like having my nails done a couple times, but like, you know, when you get older as an adult, it's just like, I don't have time for all that. I'm studying. Leave me alone. I don't care. I'm not wearing these heels. F your patriarchy, okay? Period. Um so yeah. No. But yeah. And but I think it's also like you also appreciate what other people have too if you don't have it. So like people who have curls too, I'm like, oh man, why don't you wear your hair natural? It's so pretty. You know? But I see a lot of people straightening their hair, you know? Even men too. That's why I'm like, why? Your hair is amazing the way it is, you know? It's interesting though. But okay, and then let's see what's this say. Mm. Wait, what was this? Mm, yeah. I don't know. There's definitely some very like personal stories I could, but I don't know. Mm, I don't know. Like one friend was saying, basically like because he was lighter, I guess he didn't see himself as black. Which again, like the whole race thing, I don't know. But like his features are very much African. Um, and I guess I don't know, would it be sub-Saharan African, you know? Um, but like just with himself, like it's like he didn't want to like accept that. I don't know. It was very strange, of course, for me as an American. Like I don't know how we started talking about it, but like I don't know if he was. I don't know what we're talking about. Just historically, or like just how we refer to races in the U.S. But like you know, he would be obviously mixed in American culture. It's obvious that he looks like white and black. I don't know, but like I mean, but even sometimes you can be light and you have two dark skinned parents, right? Like the genetics are geneticizing, right? Like the genes are you know genes are genes. Like you can be lighter or darker, where it doesn't seem to make logical sense to us in our like modern day understand or like our societal understanding, you know. But yeah, I found that really strange. Um, and what else? And then also like him putting on to like some of the sub-Saharan Africans that are here in Morocco, saying stuff like, "Oh, they don't belong here," and um, oh, yeah, just really ignorant stuff. And you know, and then with the immigration stuff, the issues here. Oh, yeah, I heard some people, some friends say just very ignorant thing, or just also again like listening to other people instead of like doing their own research, talking about like, oh, don't go there, you know, it's dangerous, or just like the same stuff they do in my city, man. They say like, oh, don't go to that side of the city, it's bad because you know. Oh, yeah, yeah, so I just, you know, my own personal experiences, just very surprised because of course I feel like as Americans maybe we think like because it's Africa, right? Like it's the motherland for everyone, right? Like that it should somehow magically be unified or, you know, whatever. I don't know. But sorry, I'm looking at a spider, I think. Wait a minute. Is it coming down from the ceiling? I'm like, I want to take my flashlight, but it's, you know, let me see if I can shine the light from the computer. Where's the, no, that's the volume. Hello. Where's the brightness at? I'm sorry. Is that the bright? No. Jeez. No. What the heck? Okay. It's, anyways, it's so small. I think it's going to the floor. anyways, I don't like spiders. This apartment, this area has like more spiders, which I'm used to from my city, my region. But in Marrakesh, it didn't seem like there was many. Not as many. Anyways, um, what would you say is most unclear or confusing to you about this topic? I mean, which topic? Or which story or just as an American, right? Coming from your own perspective. Sorry, I think somebody got married. I'm hearing the horns. Um, yeah, it's just very different. And again, like I mentioned earlier, that like race is a social construct, right? That it's not um, it's not real. Right? It's not like, in the past, right? Historically, people would talk about this race is like this or this race has this, and that's not true. However, there are some correlations because of a shared trauma or shared history or whatever, right? Like, at least in the US, like just health wise, I think African Americans, Black people in America, have an increased risk of heart issues. That's not because they're Black, it's because they have a shared trauma. Like, yeah. Uh, mm, as a what? I will have to research more about that. I don't understand the whole the issue. Like I didn't like get deeper into it. But it sounds horrible. It's a dark side of us people. You mean North Africa? People don't like to talk about it. Gotta talk about it for things to change, man. I think that's part of why, yeah, like a lot of white people in the US want to ignore problems. Like, what do they say? Like, oh, that was the past. Everything's perfect now, right? Everything's okay now. Let's move on. Like, no. What? We need to talk about what happened and not cover up what happened. That's part of our issue in the US is that, they want to ban certain books from being read or certain ideas being taught. And it's totally covering up some history or like minimizing some things, right? Like, yeah, it's disturbing. They're really honking. It's just last night or the night before I was hearing all that too. It's interesting. Yeah, growing up, we heard a lot of the horns too for marriages, for weddings. Um, in my city too, maybe not as much as I got older. Oh, but then yeah, you're supposed to like pull over and stop. Wait, are you? No, or is that for funerals? Wait. Oh man. No, for funerals you're supposed to stop, but for weddings, gosh, it's become so rare that I don't remember. I think just if you're in the wedding party, then you're just honking and decorated cars or whatever. Anyways. Okay, then this is talking about, is it talking about, okay, wait. Colorism within Amazigh communities. I don't remember what prompt this was. Let's see. Because colorism among and toward Amazigh people in Morocco has its own distinct layers tied to history, geography, identity. So diversity within Amazigh community, huge range of skin tones, hair textures, features, from very fair in the Reef and Atlas Mountains to deep brown and black in the Souss, anti-Atlas, and Sahara. This diversity comes from centuries of intermixing indigenous North Africans, sub-Saharan Africans through trade, migration, and slavery, and Mediterranean peoples. Unfortunately, this natural diversity has sometimes been used against the community itself, creating subtle internal hierarchies. Yeah, it's so interesting. Like the whole gene thing too, and your DNA is like those tests and stuff. Obviously, like the tests can change a lot. Some people will get like a small percentage of something, and then later it disappears because like they're constantly updating. And then sometimes I think it seems wrong. Um, and then also it's interesting though, people think there's something their whole life, and then they're like mixed with a bunch of different stuff. Which yeah, I don't know. I think it depends on how old or how far back they go, and it's like right if you go back far enough, just we're all related, no? Amazigh. Ignore when we enslave, but when they do is not weddings, funerals. Not human, just AI. That's your name. Azawad's issue is so hard to understand for foreigners. It's the most complicated mess of all time. Oh. I'll have to research more into I forgot what is like. Let me just go through the rest of this, and I think there's another topic. I don't remember because I searched this before. But okay, this one is colorism within Amazigh communities, even among Amazighan. You sometimes hear comments like she's very dark but beautiful, or he doesn't look Amazigh, he's too dark. Preferences for lighter skin when describing ideal beauty, especially in marriage or social comparison. Some parents warn kids not to stay in the sun too long to avoid getting darker. These are the same patterns found globally. It's not hate, but inherited bias. Yeah. That said, darker Amazigh people, especially in southern Morocco and the Sahara, may also proudly reclaim their color, saying things like, the donkey isn't white, a playful expression used to reject mockery or colorist teasing. Then colorism toward Amazigh communities. From outside the Amazigh community, colorism often overlaps with ethnic discrimination. Urban or Arab identifying Moroccans may use. Yeah, see, that was a little bit confusing to me, and I don't know. I don't know if I should say it. I don't know. People say it, but I think, is it the kind of concept where it's okay if you are that, you can say it, but if you're not that, you shouldn't say it? That's, I feel like somebody said that, but Mozambique, why did it block? So I'm gonna click show, but sometimes I don't know if it will still show or not. So I don't know if you guys can see Mozambique's comment, but he said, what is the Azawad issue? Do dark skinned Libyan face discrimination, segregation, or some form of systemic racism? Hmm. What did you say? Blast world music? What do you mean? What do you mean? I can't play music though because it's all copyrighted stuff. Anyways, okay. Uh, I don't know. Okay, so uh, wait, urban or Arab identifying Moroccans may use that one word or Susi in a derogatory way, associating it with being rural, poor, or dark skinned. I think that's why people don't like the word, right? But I've heard some Amazigh people use it, so it's like I think people say like it's okay for them to use it, but not someone else. Like I don't know. But then people from southern regions, including Tiznit, Guelmim, Tata, Agadir, or the Sahara, can be stereotyped as less educated or too dark. Darker Amazigh or Sahrawi Moroccans are sometimes mistaken for sub-Saharan Africans and treated as outsiders in their own country. You know what? And somebody was commenting here on YouTube talking about like that one gentleman who was in my video. He's a darker skinned man, and he said he's Amazigh. He speaks Amazigh, and the one guy was saying, "Oh, he's not really Amazigh though." I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a lot. Um, mm, you might hear people casually say that they're giving some like I guess Darija phrases, but I'm not gonna say them because I don't know how to pronounce them and I don't know. But it means like she's too dark. The other one is Susi people are everywhere, meant as a stereotype about merchants or money. These phrases might sound harmless in context, but they reinforce social bias. Okay, challenging colorism, pride, and representation. There's a growing movement among Amazigh youth to reclaim beauty in all its shades. Yes, please. Artists and musicians. Yes, please. Proudly show dark skinned Amazigh women in traditional dress. Activists and influencers speak openly about colorism and celebrate Amazigh roots, regardless of tone or region. Tamazight language media increasingly highlights diversity, showing both northern, fairer, and southern, darker Amazigh. Yes. Okay, a key perspective, a quote that sums it up well from an Amazigh activist in Agadir. Our skin tells the story of the sun, the mountains, and the desert. The problem isn't our color, it's the idea that one shade is better than another. Love it. Yes, please. Ugh, I don't know. Okay, okay, let's talk about colorism and racism towards sub-Saharan Africans, both migrants and Black Moroccans. In Morocco, a real and complex issue that sits in the intersection of race, migration, class, and identity. Okay, here's a full nuanced breakdown. It's a lot. I'm trying to pop my ears. Do you guys ever have that issue? The elevation? I don't know. We're getting old. Ears, eyes, everything. I want to ask you ever feel sometimes bored? Open the YouTube application. You mean, do I ever feel bored and then because I'm bored, I open up YouTube and scroll? Yeah. Or do you mean you open up the YouTube app, you're scrolling and you're still bored? Is that I don't know. But yeah. Either way, I think changing what you're doing, like it's all about perspective, right? Like change how you think, change what you're doing, and you won't be bored, you know. Create something, you know, produce something. You won't be bored. But yeah, sometimes we just want to veg out, as we say, right? And relax and just mindlessly scroll or watch something. um, okay, who are the sub-Saharan immigrants in Morocco? Most sub-Saharan Africans in Morocco today fall into two main groups: migrants in transit, people traveling north from countries like Mali, Senegal, Guinea, Nigeria, Cameroon, or Ivory Coast, hoping to reach Europe; and then permanent residents and students, thousands who stay long-term, studying at Moroccan universities or working in trade and business. Many live in major cities like Rabat, Casablanca, Oujda, and Tangier, or in towns near the northern borders. Yeah, I was like, when I was in Marrakesh too, I ran into a lot of Senegalese guys. Um, just many were on the street like selling like t-shirts or like jewelry or sunglasses. It was interesting too. One Moroccan brother, he's like my nephew. He like showed me around some places and like I don't know what we call it in like the U.S. Maybe like a little Senegal. Like I think that happens a lot in most countries or places, right? Like you do want to be around your own culture sometimes too. You know, like you miss that vibe and stuff. Um, okay, so how racism and colorism appear. While Morocco has deep African roots, darker skin is still often stigmatized, a mix of colonial history, Eurocentric ideals, and social prejudice. Here's how it tends to appear. Okay, in public spaces, Black immigrants often face stares, rude comments, or jokes about their color or origin. Some report being called names like dark or black in a derogatory tone, or worse, slurs implying they are not Moroccan or belong somewhere else. Like I said, I have heard that from people that I know, unfortunately, which was also very shocking and surprising. Taxi drivers may refuse rides, landlords may deny rentals, and some employers pay them less for the same work. I sometimes almost every day bored open YouTube. That's okay. At least, I mean, we got people to talk to, right? It's nice to like find our people too, you know? I know it's like weird, it's like parasocial type stuff, but it's like, it's a nice way to find your people, as we say, like, meaning like your community, like minded people. What that makes it true that. All right, in schools and universities, Black African students sometimes describe being excluded socially by Moroccan classmates or being treated as different. Yeah, there's one brother that I talk to sometimes. Yeah, where was he from though? Guinea? Yeah, he said he did not have a good experience in Morocco, unfortunately. And then I've heard that from Amazigh students as well. Um, on the positive side, some universities and communities have made intentional efforts to integrate sub-Saharan students, especially in Rabat and Fez. Mm-hmm. I would really like to visit Rabat and like stay there for some time. I know so many people say like, come visit, it's awesome. You know, big city vibes. Okay, police and borders. Migrants without legal documents, especially near the Spanish enclaves of Ceuta, Ceuta, and Melilla face harsh treatment, including arbitrary arrest, displacement to southern Morocco, or violence. Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch have reported repeated cases of racial profiling by authorities. Yeah. I just saw in one of the news pages on Instagram that I think a lot of people were trying to cross the border, illegally. But it's like, seems like everybody's trying to do that, like Moroccans and from other countries, so, like near Morocco. Because sometimes, like, nothing interested on you. Like, maybe you're not interested sometimes in things on YouTube. Yeah. I hear you. Put the phone down sometimes. Go talk to people. you know? That's part of the solution to these problems too. But like obviously like you can do it online as well, which is amazing but also weird, right? What people often say and why it's problematic. So common remarks that reveal underlying colorism or racism. They're all coming here to cause trouble. Oh God, we're not racist. We just don't want them here. Africa is for Africans, but they should stay in their own countries. God, it just sounds so similar to the U.S., which is it's shocking. It's unexpected for me, yeah. Yeah. Just super ignorant, right? They're all coming here to cause trouble. Like, dear God, like if that's not the same rhetoric in the US, they're coming here to, what was the stupid phrase that became a meme? They're coming here to eat your dog, to eat your cat. What was it? Like, it just ridiculousness. But before that, it was like about drugs or criminality, right? But like, um, what we're seeing in the US now, which is one of the big issues, right? And what I talked about a bit the other day on live about Chicago, because that's my area, a couple hours from that area. But like they're like rounding up, they're patrolling, they're raiding places that like it just they're also just looking up anyone who is illegal, not only criminals, right? Like, just a pregnant woman, women and the children and people who have lived in the U.S. for years, and like are not criminals or like or even maybe they made some small mistake in the past and just ridiculous. What was the one guy? He even got deported to El Salvador. They fought it, right? It was all over the news for like months, and he finally got back to the U.S. I think he was released. Then did they arrest him again, and they want to to deport him again to like Uganda or something? That was the latest. Just ridiculous though. It's this ignorant negative rhetoric of otherness, these people who are other, whatever that is, whether they're brown, black, Asian, Muslim, right, whatever the otherness is, you know we got to get them out. We gotta, uh, yeah, that's why it's disappointing as an American, because I feel like that's not what we represent. There's an interesting song a long time ago that was talking about like two Americas, right? There's the America that like the people, some Americans, right, that believe America is all about, diversity and like people being different together, and that we embrace that and we celebrate that together. And then there's another America that's like hasn't dealt with its history and it's very racist. And so, yeah, it's like if you don't talk about it, it's gonna fester. Ahul, Alcatraz. Oh god. Excuse me. I want to another old. You want to go to another old channel? Do you mean? Are you saying bye? Have a good rest of your day or night or morning. Um. Anyways. Yeah. Okay. Oh wow. It says many Moroccans don't see these comments as racist. They see them as economic or security issues. I've heard that in the US too. But the tone, language, and treatment are often rooted in racial bias. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. All right. Government and social response. Morocco legalized residency for many sub Saharan migrants in 2014 and again in 2017, allowing thousands to regularize their status. The king has publicly encouraged solidarity with African nations, positioning Morocco as a bridge between North and Sub Saharan Africa. Yet racism at the street level persists. Social change is slower than legal change. Interesting. Hmm. I've heard people say something like, um, in Morocco, like we don't even have jobs, and then referring to some of the Senegalese brothers in like Jamal, for example, like you know, they have a job, I don't have a job, or something like that. I don't know. You know, the same kind of stuff you hear in the U.S. Yeah, and the with the affirmative action thing in the U.S. too, that like this current administration is fighting, like yeah, it's weird, like not wanting good things for other people. This is how it seems, right? Like understanding history, at least in the U.S. But I hear from a lot of white people in the U.S. too, like talking like this, right? Like um, about jobs. Oh, like just the recent stuff. What was it talking about? The pilot. Oh, cause the what was it? Charlie Kirk thing about like a black pilot. Something I don't know. Just some really ignorant things that he said. Um, just people don't understand affirmative action in the U.S. And people saying like, oh, they're taking my job and they're taking our jobs. You know. It's like I think they feel like it's like being replaced, right? So I kind of feel like that is the Moroccan vibe too, like the feeling of being maybe replaced or like not being attended to or whatever. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay, voices of resistance and solidarity. Black. I gotta take a drink of water. Hi, Tricia, not asleep. No, wait, what time is it? Okay. It's 3 a.m. Good morning. How are you, Yana Yer? Why are you not sleeping? Why are y'all not sleeping? Anyways, I have, let me see, a couple more. Yes? A couple more. All right, so voices of resistance and solidarity. Black Moroccan activists, such as those from Southern and Saharan regions, are speaking out about racism and creating dialogue between Black Moroccans and sub-Saharan migrants. Community associations, especially in Rabat and Casablanca, run events celebrating African unity and mutual understanding. Yeah, I'd like to go. Hello, it's reconnecting. I'm all right. How are you, Yanayer? I wanted to talk about this because like just if you just joined, Yanayer, um, just because I was surprised by some people's comments on Facebook. I don't know. I think I'll post the screenshots I took too, so people have some context. But I still feel like they're gonna be like, whatever. You need to see and hear the truth. I don't know. I don't get it. Anyways, um, younger Moroccans are increasingly aware of racism and call it out on social media, especially after incidents like attacks on African migrants or racist videos going viral. Yeah, I did see some of that. Yeah, and I had told someone maybe I was going to go to Casablanca for something, and they said, like, oh, be careful, I hear blah, blah. And I was like, oh, yeah. Just because people talking blah, 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 blah. Oh, it's dangerous. Too late for this time. It's never too late. It's always the right time to talk about important things. This is just, I mean, this is my time, right? Like, I'm usually up later. Okay, anyways, let's finish and then we can chat a bit and hang out if y'all want to. All right. What it really comes down to, many Moroccans genuinely see themselves as African and feel empathy for migrants. But colorism and racism persist because of lack of education on Africa's racial diversity, social media stereotypes portraying sub-Saharan Africans as foreigners or dangerous. Sounds familiar, like in the US. Internalized colonial hierarchies where being lighter or closer to Europe equals higher status. As one Senegalese student in Casablanca put it, they say we are brothers, but sometimes I feel like a stranger in my own continent. Mm-hmm. So yeah, just a lot, you guys. I know we talked about a lot, but and thank you for your comments, and yeah, I'll definitely look more into Azawad. I just excuse me, I think somebody just followed me on TikTok. Because I know the Azawad flag. Even before I knew about the flag, I think I found out about Azawad because of TikTok. People following me on TikTok, It's interesting. TikTok, I think, is the most diverse groups of people, of followers I get. Like, there's a lot of Libyans that are they're all Amazigh though, because of the Amazigh content. But Libyans, a lot of how do you say Nigerians? How do you say people of Niger? How to say? Obviously, it's not Nigerian because those are Nigerians. What? The people of Niger are called Nigerian? With an E though? To say people of Niger in a sentence, you really? But how do you differentiate in speech? Is that right, you guys? English is crazy. Like the way we say, like what some of those videos, the Chinese woman, she was talking about in Chinese, this is ren. Like Chinese people, American people, you know, 美国人, 中国人, you know, like it's the same, but in English, it's like sometimes it ends with an E, like an E sound, right? Um, Sometimes it ends with an N. It. Anyways, people from Niger, Libya, Algeria. I think some from Mali, maybe Mauritania. But recently, a lot people from Niger and Libyans and Algerians, I think. What you saying there? A comment got blocked, but I don't know why. But you didn't really say anything. What's up? Anyways, I could ask ChatGPT. My computer will die somehow. Let's see. Azawad refers to a region in northern Mali in the Sahel and Sahara Desert that many Tuareg Amazigh people consider their home. It's not officially a country, but rather a territory and identity that's deeply tied to Amazigh, specifically Tuareg culture, language, and political struggles. Azawad covers the northern part of Mali, roughly the region of Timbuktu, Kidal, Gao. I don't know the other, but it's like everybody knows Timbuktu. It's amazing. It's an arid desert area with nomadic populations, many Tuareg, Songhai, Arabs, and Fulani. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. See, 2012. I just don't know how much I can say some of these words. I don't know. So I won't say them, but I will read them to myself. Okay. Yeah, I'll look deeper into some other resources too. Well, you guys, I know it's late. I still need to write an email about school stuff for tomorrow. What else? This week is jam-packed of my students. Let me just brag about my students again. They're amazing. So I look forward to seeing them because they're amazing. But anyways, if you guys have any comments or questions about this topic, again, what I was reading from the beginning was like my post, the other post that you know caused me to write my post, people's comments, and then ChatGPT, you know, talked about different topics, kind of related to it all, but yeah, we have to talk about these things for them to get any kind of better, right? I think it's same thing in the US. Like people don't want to talk about it, so that it keeps festering. Like fester, I think, is like the best descriptive word. Like it festers. People are angry, frustrated, don't feel supported, yeah, upset. And then if you don't deal with that, if you don't listen to people, what do you think is going to happen, right? Like, yeah. And then years and years and years of it happening, of not listening. You know? I think that's like what we all want, right? Just even individually, right? Like individual to individual, we just want to be heard. In relationships, we just want to be heard, right? So, anyways, I think I'll end with, with that let's listen to each other more. Let's have more empathy. Go discover more about things that you don't know about. Explore, educate, listen. I think that'll be all. So I'll see you guys next weekend. I go live every weekend. If you're seeing this, if you're new, welcome. I know it's a deep topic. Sometimes I talk about deep things, deep topics, important topics. Sometimes I'm learning Amazigh. Like yesterday, was it yesterday? Yeah. Had a special guest to help me with pronunciation, right, of some Amazigh words. Sometimes we'll play games. I love word games, Maybe sometimes we can do English or whatever people are interested in. But yeah, if you also want to be a guest, I would love to have you talk about. Right now I'm asking people to go live with me and do Amazigh. I think that would be helpful. I know a lot of people tune in to learn Amazigh as well, and to So Morocco won the cup. Was that somebody just posted? I don't follow sports, y'all. Hashtag sports. Let me see. Is it in the? Did they just play, or is it? I thought somebody just posted, like, was it Argentina and Morocco? Is that in the future, or did it just happen? Oh, did it just happen? Morocco beat Argentina 2-0. Well, okay, hashtag sports. Okay, Morocco. Yeah, I just saw it before I went live. I saw somebody's story about Argentina and Morocco. Hmm. I'm gonna go eat. I'm like always eating after my life. But anyways, I will see you guys next weekend for sure. Every weekend I go live. I don't know yet what we'll talk about. Who knows? Thanks, Wendy. You too. But yeah, I don't know. I would like to go live one day during the week, some week. I don't know which week, if it will be this one or next or whatever. But like, I don't know. Just I want to get like comfortable with the students and like the subject matter and like have everything like locked in, so I'm not like um paying attention to the live, but also teaching. I mean, obviously, when I'm teaching, I'm not gonna be talking to you directly, but just I think it would be interesting maybe for you guys to see what I do. And just like lots of fun interactions with the students. But there was some more horns. Like somebody else got married, or it's the same people? Yeah. But yeah, maybe I'll do like a day in the life, like, and just go live the whole day and just be with you guys. Like I'll be teaching, but then like I'll have breaks sometimes, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour. But yeah, some of the English classes might be helpful too to some of you who are learning English. But sometimes it's math too. But yeah, we'll see. Soccer. Hashtag soccer. Hashtag sports. All right, you guys, I'm gonna say goodnight to you. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, the horns is for really? But I was hearing the horns maybe like, I don't know, 30 minutes ago, 45 minutes ago, an hour ago. Was it like halftime and they were winning too or something? That's funny. It's funny though. I didn't hear of the like normal like woo. I did one night around here, but there's also like a small field here where maybe people, I mean, I've heard and seen people play before too, but that's when they won the game. Ah, so it ended not recently, it ended like an hour ago. Wow. I didn't know that. Weddings and soccer games. Hashtag sports, you guys. Oh, I know football, soccer is a big thing in many countries outside the US, but I'm not into sports or like competition and stuff. But good to know. Thank you. Thanks, Wendy. Are you in Morocco? Are you Moroccan? Like your name sounds like you're not from Morocco. I know my phone's gonna die soon. But I'm gonna say Team NC win. Why am I saying Team NC win? Because like the way it's spelled and the way, I don't know, pronunciation. Hashtag pronunciation. Team NC win. Why can I not say it all of a sudden? Team NC win. Team NC win. Team NC. I don't know. Good night. Hubby's from Muhammadiyah. Is that what you're? We're in US. Oh, cool. Very cool. Oh, would love to hear your story about that. Ah, man. Yeah, I've been in, I don't know if you follow me or just you found me now. I've been in Morocco for over 2 years. And yeah, learning Amazigh. But yeah, we were talking about like racism and colorism here in Morocco. But yes. I don't know if I've seen you before though. Wendy? Do I know your name somewhere else on Facebook or Instagram? Or you meant yes, you just found me. I don't know. Either way, nice to meet you. I miss my Americans though, for real. I do miss my culture, man. I really do. For sure. But take my earrings off because it's time to lay it down. We'll eat first. All right, y'all. Team NC one on buona notte. All of the things, all of the languages, all of the love. I love you all. Go do something interesting, amazing, unifying, celebratory. I grew up in Massachusetts. Nice. I'm from Illinois. But I hope to see you again, Wendy. If you're on Instagram and stuff, hit me up too. All right, y'all. Oh, let's see if I can stand up. Good night. Good night. Take care, you guys. Thank you so much. Bye.